People, deluded, a rather terrible day, and I've finished work now. I thought, you know what, it's raining, I'm not trying to get on the train right now, I might as well record a quick vid. Now by now you've seen my videos in regards to John Jules, Lacazette, and I believe I spoke on Nelson and Mavropanos in regards to possible improvements for themselves going into next season. We might as well speak about a couple of other players, and firstly I'm going to start with Maitland-Niles. Now for me, Maitland-Niles, he's been playing at fullback. At the end of the day, minutes is currency. You're a young player, you just need to get into the team and play football. We know his future is not at fullback. You can't rule it out because football's a funny game, but he's a better centre mid than he is fullback, and he's had ambitions himself, he stated, to play on the right hand side of the wing. I don't think that's quite him, but who knows. For me, it's likely he's going to play a substantial part of the season at right back, at least initially, in regards to Bellerin's return to fitness. Again, if we sign a fullback, then cool. But for me, I'd say his positioning needs to improve. I mean, you look at the penalty he conceded against Giroud in the final. It wasn't just his fault, but that's what you call reactive defending. He makes that foul because he's reacting, because he's not in position. If you're proactive and you realise what is happening and you read that situation, the penalty is not conceded. And there's been a couple of incidences like that where at times he hasn't stopped the cross. I think he actually has done well on the large part at fullback. Of course he's had bad games, of course he's had terrible moments. So just in terms of general positioning, and actually whether he's going to be a fullback or not, if he can get his positioning spot on at fullback, then that will help him a lot actually going into central midfield. Different appreciations for the game and things like that. And that might, because he's played fullback, I don't feel, for instance, the senior midfielders at Arsenal protect our fullbacks in terms of helping them defend and stuff like that. So for instance, he could almost instantly have an appreciation for his fullback when he moves back to the centre of the park, if he does. The one thing I would say is that I love it that he's a cool customer. He doesn't panic under pressure. But by the same logic, I believe that's a gift and a curse. At times, he needs to do things with a bit more urgency, whether that's off the ball or on the ball. And it's about maintaining that focus 24/7. So that would be it for me, and being able to follow his runners. That would be it for me for Maitland-Niles, to be fair with you. Obviously, like to see him get tested in midfield. On to Guendouzi now, people. And I'd say the main thing for Guendouzi is balance. I feel next season, people already seeing it. It's a gift and a curse, is that people have forgotten he's played 40 odd times for Arsenal, but prior to that, yeah, he got some experience at Lorient, but he was extremely inexperienced, and he took to it. And it's a gift and a curse that people have disregarded the fact that he's inexperienced, he's a young man, and things like that. It's a testament that people are kind of judging him as a senior player. But next year, the Wolves are already out for Guendouzi because he can be frustrating, but they're going to be out for him more. I'd say for me, with Guendouzi, it's balance. When to dribble, when to keep it simple. And for me as well, he does that thing where he holds on to the ball and he expects refs to give him the fouls, and he gets away with it. But for me, I call that academy football, because you do that at academy level and you get away with it. In the senior level, if the ref doesn't give it, you have to play on. And I feel at times he relies on refs a bit too much. So I'd say for me, with Guendouzi, he needs to find balance in his game, and he also needs to, like what I mean by that is when to pass, when to keep it simple, stop relying on refs. And the main one for me as well, it's actually not a main thing, because I believe he's a decent player, but he's always in the final third and he's played a lot and he's yet to score. So possibly improving in that regards. Like I said, I don't think Guendouzi is quite he is box to box, but he's not. I wouldn't class him as a goal-scoring midfielder or to think he'll develop into that. I feel his strengths are elsewhere. But if he could add a bit of goals into his game, then it improves you. So I'd say that's for Guendouzi for me, to be fair. Iwobi, in regards to Iwobi, people, for me, he's had his best goal-scoring season statistically. He's had some good periods. First half of the season, he was on fire. I think he just needs to play with clarity and conviction. Like at times he seems to, like, you know, when you're in the final third, people, and you think of passing and then you want to shoot, he gets caught in two minds a lot. I think having clarity in the mind whether you want to pass and shoot in the final third, and kind of keeping a cool head. Obviously you want to see him improve in terms of goal scoring and things like that. I think he's improved defensively, but if he can improve a bit more covering his fullback, that's all I want to see from him, to be fair with you. Mainly greater conviction. In regards to Bellerin, I know he's not going to be back for a while, but just in terms of, for me, just improve your positioning, keep adding the goals in, not the goals, the assists. I saw he got a decent amount of assists before he got injured. I could be wrong. Get some assists into your play. Just play with greater conviction in defence, and just more or less just come back in full health for Bellerin, to be fair, for next season. Aubameyang, at the end of the day, regardless of what people say about him, he scored 22 goals, 30 odd in all comps. He needs to do that again, because we ain't got a striker that's going to do that. So for all the criticisms, for me, first and foremost, he's got to go out there and do that first and foremost. Obviously, for me, you want to see Aubameyang do it in the bigger games, because if you look at the goals scored to the big games against the top 6 and things, he hasn't really been the most prolific against them. So I'd like to see that. Of course, his general play can improve and things like that, and he can offer us more in that front. But at the same time, he's 30 years of age, people. He's made his name off scoring goals. That is what Aubameyang's about. At 30 years of age, how much of can a leopard really change its prints? I'm all for improvements, but at the same time, we have to judge a man on what they've built their name on, really and truly. You're not going to buy a certain tool as a tradesman. You're not going to buy a drill and expect it to work like a spanner. Do you get it, people? There's that. Holding, finally, for me as well, people. Rob Holding, I think he just needs to play games like a lot of these players, because they've still got rough edges around them and they're still naive in certain circumstances. I feel Holding, at times he gets in personal battles a bit too much, so keeping a cool head. I feel at times he is a bit naive, diving in, not covering when he should be. But all of this comes with experience, and he's only going to get that with games. And ironically, he would have had an extended run in the side, but he sadly got injured. He hasn't had that many career appearances, so he still is extremely naive. If you look at the penalty he conceded against Spurs early on in the season, you'll see what I mean. So it's just for the young players, it's mainly just polishing up several edges, to be fair with you, if I'm completely honest with you, people. In regards to MustafI is just MustafI. I'd be amazed if he turns it around, but there's several incidences with MustafI in terms of positioning, diving in, and just keeping a cool head. Kolasinac just needs to improve in all aspects defensively, simply put. Xhaka defensively in terms of helping out his fullbacks and just general mobility, but is he gonna become agile and get that mobility into his game? He's been here for 2-3 years now. It's not gonna happen, is it? A lot of the experienced players, I don't really have faith in them improving. If Kohler can improve defensively, he could be a decent left back for us, but he's too good in the final third. Defensively, he's a liability for me. In regards to Mkhitaryan and also if they're still here, again, you lot know these two players, everybody will go into a fit. But if they are still here, goals and assists, specifically assists, people. When you look at Ozil, I believe he has 5 goals, 2 assists, all in the whole Premier League season. Forgive me if I'm wrong. 6 goals in all competitions and 3 assists in all comps. That's not good enough for Mesut Ozil. Mkhitaryan, to be fair, his is decent. He got 6 goals and 7 assists in 25. But again, there was plenty of games he went missing as well. So we need greater impetus, greater creativity if they are here next season, people. If they are here, they're here, innit? I'm not going to sit here and rant and rave if MustafI, Kohler, Ozil, Xhaka, regardless of my opinion on these players, if they're here, we have to support them. And in short, this is what I would like to see them improve on. If I'm any one of them in pre-season, this is what I'm trying to move forward with. Again, people, I was actually meant to make it into 2 videos, but I think we spoke about Maitland-Niles, Matteo, Iwobi, Aubameyang and Hector Bellerin, Holding, MustafI, and a couple of others in Xhaka, Mkhitaryan and Ozil, people. The experienced players, for me, like I've said, are stuck in their ways, really and truly. But on that note, I'm going to keep it moving. People, Deluded, thank you for watching my random vid. I'm out.